meeting to order. So first on the agenda is the river keeper. Unfortunately, the river keeper is not here right now. So we're just gonna get going and they will show up at some point. Can I get a motion on the approval of the minutes for June 25th? So moved. Start. All in favor?
Aye.
Keith?
All right, the financials that are presented here are as of June 30th. We really not a whole lot of changes since over the course of the year, although we're getting closer to getting some money from be able to move things along. We still have $11,025,000 in cash, of which about $9 million related to that. Our commitments are down to only about $751,000, an outstanding commitment, of which just under 300 is in the bad basins. Pretty much all I have to add.
Okay. Well, I did that.
The next thing on the agenda, I'll just start our outline and I'll pass it over to probably Cassie to probably talk more about it. This is an amended 401k plan document out there. This is related to changes in the federal law related to retirement plans, to bring our plan to compliance with that. And I don't know if
yeah, so I worked with Keith, he reached out to the plan executive, he talked to them about sending us an updated plan document, so. This ratifies the updated plan document and the updated plan documents behind, and essentially you could see what it's changing. I confirmed with Keith that this is, and he confirmed with the plan administrator that this is not a simple plan, and therefore all employee match is gonna be at the discretion of the board, and that's what your agreement says, so it's not, you're not bound by the percentage that's in the prior agreement. And the action, if you through the change today, would be to authorize, recommend this to go before the board of directors for a vote, and then Lauren can sign it after they vote at that meeting.
Any questions?
So, yeah, just to clarify, so the actual match that is being offered on an annual basis, should that be confirmed, actively every time we approve a budget so that it's clear what you are offering from time to time, right?
that's correct, Chris.
So that way you're reviewing it annually.
Right, Chris, the recommendation from the 401k plan was that when we get the plan document, the plan summary once a year, the annual report that goes out to the employees, that we should probably attach a memo to that, which would be after the October meeting when the budget is approved, just explaining what was approved for that for the next year.
When I looked at it, I think this is what I looked at, it had 2021 dates and stuff.
Yeah, 2021 was, we first signed the plan in 2021, and then there was an amendment.
What are they doing? Are they so they're retroing the documents back to 2021?
No, that's just the identification. That just identifies the plan, Warren. They always refer back to the plan adoption because that's when you adopted the plan, right? You can amend the plan, but that's when it was adopted, right, Keith?
Yeah, correct. We adopted the plan.
No, I remember. Yeah. Okay. So my name's still on it, so I just need to know.
Yes, that's the next thing Cassie and I have talked about, what is determining, because you're listed as trustee of the plan.
Yeah.
So we need to find out what.
I'm the one that goes to jail.
Right.
If anybody else wants.
Keep it that way.
No, it should really be the trust. It should be the treasurer, right? Every time you turn over the treasurer, you need to follow with human interest to let them know that, right?
Right. So they will probably need to change the trustee agreement we'll probably have to re-sign that to change that from Warren to Ellen.
There's a very interesting list of things that can happen to you if you don't do it right. but there's not really much that needs to be done, it's just that.
Yes. Well, Keith, are we supposed to have a surety bond, fidelity coverage, and that covers our officers, right? So the idea would be to have the treasurer have that role. And do we need a separate fidelity bond? Can you ask human interest that? Or is the fidelity bond for our officers adequate?
Okay, I can check with that. I mean, there is a bond that is part of there's an ERISA bond as part of the plan that human interest acquires.
Okay,
What?
and who, we should double check who's named in that.
Why do you use surety bond for, I don't understand. Why is there a bond there at all? I just don't understand.
So when you see money, you're covered.
Yeah, it's protection.
Oh,
There's required to, it's a fidelity bond?
Well, that's why I'm saying they may have.
It's a
bond.
fidelity bond.
Their bond.
okay.
So,
That's totally-
okay.
yeah.
So you'll get the details of that?
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to forward this to the board of directors?
I believe you're ready.
Somebody want to make a motion? I make a motion to forward the 401k plan documents for action to the board of directors.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, so what, as we alluded to, we had a big, movement in preparation for 11 through 15. As, we had a kickoff meeting with DEP yesterday regarding, contract issues, had to set everything up for the $10 million, which will be coming to us. First payment, I believe, was about $1.5 million, if my memory is correct. So what we'll do with that funding in collaboration with the Westchester Putnam County Quick Funds that become available to us is start looking at releasing RFPs for design and pushing forward on new projects coming up soon. What I'd like to do, because things have changed everywhere since the last time each municipality has really had significant input into what projects we're going to go forward with. If you remember, the 5-year work plan was completed just about 2 years ago. So what I'd like to do is sit down with as many of you as possible, and I'll bring this up at the board of directors meeting as well, to touch base with what I already have on record for eligible projects and what has come up in the last 2 years or so. My goal with that is we'll pick some good projects that we can, with a heavy lean towards non-FAD projects, but of course, if things come up in the FAD that we can address, we will. But there should be a lean towards the non-FAD projects, as the additional funding that we may be able to use in the future is all FAD. But what I'd like to do is kind of keep a tight running project list to start as we start working with the DEP. There's a lot more paperwork, maybe a little bit more red tape in this iteration that's coming up with the funding agreement. So it's probably in our best interest not to have, 10 projects have design at once while we're just getting into the process. As we go further into the probably calendar year 27, we can ramp that up once we've got everything down, and keep pushing forward with that. I do have a couple of great projects that I'm looking forward to moving forward with. And like I said, we'll meet with each individual town, starting with Westchester County, and see what we can get going. In terms of active projects, we are pushing construction for the fall on just about everything on the list. Our one active project in construction, Kent, as you can guess from the storm that we had earlier this week. I think we had 6 inches of rain across the Kent. Yeah. Well, in this area in general, it was quite a storm. And that's an active construction site, so as you can imagine, regardless of what erosion sediment controls you put in, when you get an event like that, you get a mess. So, spring up, it did have a lot of damage. I think the retrofit itself functioned correctly and well, but nevertheless, any little bit of instability just gets washed away when you have a rain like that. So we got quite a bit of cleanup there. Quite a few residents have already reached out to me. All things that I believe we can handle, the engineer, the contractor, and I will meet on site to address anything. But
Basically, riprap that was big enough, so.
no, it was, in order to install the riprap, the swales, the pipes, et cetera, to fix existing channels, we had to expose a lot of, clear a lot of acreage. So the riprap held up, swales held up, and a couple spots didn't need a little help, but, it was everything else. So maybe the grass didn't take quite, get to take quite good control of the root system of the soil. That a lot of that grass seeding probably went in May, June. So while, yeah, it was doing okay, a storm like that it's kind of a washout event. So there's gonna be a lot of cleanup that we have to do there to tighten it up. So the retrofit itself did okay, but we can't, the point of the project was to eliminate erosion channels. And there's a good chance we had a few just to get created from the storm. Because of the quantity of water that came through. So it's a little bit of a cleanup that's gonna occur out there, working with contractor to jump on them fast. Because there's no reason to think that we're not gonna get another big storm, I'm sure. So we'll do what we can to prepare for the next one.
When we put grass and seed down, we put like that canvas stuff down too, it kind of holds everything.
Yeah.
And it's still.
Yeah. But I think that we did that, I believe, at the old channel locations to ensure that those channels were eliminated. But it's soft soil, you know, if you walk out there, you're down to your ankles and mud pretty much to begin with. So it's a large site. So there's bound to be some areas that maybe fell victim to the storm.
Yeah, everything that we do, sooner or later, there's gonna be a restored.
Yeah,
Hopefully they'll all hold, but I know when we did North Salem, we had big rocks that literally moved. Back in Sandy, I think it was 2013 or so.
yeah, over at Sunview. I remember the project that it got done once, then we had to come back in
bigger
and
rocks,
ramp it up.
you know, just the whole river, some of the water.
Yeah.
Hit the-
But that feeds into the next item of O and M that just, I know the highway departments are busy cleaning everything up from that event. But please make sure that they're also checking on that the retrofits themselves are functioning. And that everything is working. I'll do the same while I'm out on the road. But all eyes, anywhere we can, to make sure things are working. Just up the road, for example, in Kent, we have multiple catch basins that got covered in debris, whether it's grass, trees, dirt. So that leads to whatever's down at the bottom of the hill, our retrofit not functioning. Because if everything up above is covered in mud, our retrofits are designed to take 1,000-year storm. Which, unfortunately are a little bit more common than these. But we just have to keep our eyes on everything and be, like I said, be prepared for the next storm as best we can. I know the highway departments are stretched thin, but we don't want to have a situation where our retrofit fails and causes damage because of something that happened uphill, right? So I'll, as I said, when I'm meeting with the towns in the upcoming weeks to go over new projects, I'll bring that up as well. And my hope is that that meeting will take place with town supervisors and highway supervisors alike to try to get some feedback from them. Because the bright side of this rain event that came through is that we can get feedback from those individuals that are actually out there on the roads and understand the problems that are out there and see if there's anything more we can do. So please keep it in mind in the upcoming weeks, and I'll reach out to everybody to try to schedule some sidewalks.
And I know from the July 4th storm,
Yes.
for the town, in Village Pond, we have so many trees still down, massive trees. And quite often they fell into the streams, and so now with any new storm event, we haven't been able to get them out yet.
Yes,
So it's gonna create a major problem.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And, yeah, it's, that's just about everywhere, unfortunately. So we'll have to keep our eye and see what we can do. Because, my understanding is, we should be looking at some pretty aggressive weather patterns coming up as kind of switch over from, what was it, La Nina to El Nino, I think.
Yeah, we've already had two
Yeah, we've already had two.
tornado warnings here after the
Same
fourth,
one.
so. It's,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to keep up and prepare for it.
Yeah.
My hope is to try to find some things that the impact that we make, maybe we'll be able to grab some more of that water, but try to. Not put us in a situation where the retrofit has the opportunity to fail because there's too much coming through. Like, for instance, a pond is an open surface retrofit. If we get 6 inches of rain, it doesn't matter. If we're gonna bleed over and flood, there's just no way around it. So that's a hard thing to prepare for. But in that case, I think if we can do some more subsurface infiltration, try to get our stuff underground, we can eliminate one problem as best we can.
Yeah, overbuilding a little bit, I'm sure you looked at that in areas just to make sure that nothing happens unless you're.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing at the time, it doesn't necessarily force it, but
Yeah, it's hard to prepare for that overbuilding. Right. Yeah, we can, but it's still, these storms are, what used to be 100 is happening. Next 5 years. Yeah.
All right. We are finally at that point in time where we're ready to move on the agreements with Westchester and Putnam. They have a couple of resolutions. Do you have any questions or? Do you want to move one of these resolutions or both of them?
I will gladly, but I can't
What do what?
move these resolutions.
If that's your wish. Do we need to read them?
Please don't.
I was joking. I didn't hear what you said, but.
He said, please don't. Yeah, just,
And just for the record, this is the second amendment, so you did have a previous resolution, but. There's additional funding that is now in these agreements, so we're just reauthorizing signature because there has been a material change.
It's still 2 million.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the original when you approved it prior. So we're just having.
Putnam requested that we adopt a resolution, and so that's what we're asking you to do. And we're just doing Westchester at the same time, because we assume they're gonna need the same.
I hate to be, after what I just said, be the one to ask this question, but is it technically the third amendment? Because the second amendment would have been to carry over the funds from years 1 through 5 into 6 through 10. Or, but I'm
Well,
wrong.
the second amendment of this agreement
Okay.
specific, but yes, you're correct. There's also a second amendment, which is the carryover
I want to
fund.
make sure.
You are correct.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve these resolutions.
both resolutions?
Both of them.
All right, you got a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, that's done.
We're gonna applause after this. Speak with
What'd you
us.
say?
There'd be applause after this. In speech.
Thanks, Vinny.
Thanks, Millie. Yeah.
Yeah, thank.
Don't thank me so they get thrown.
We know, we know.
Yes.
No, I'll give you the originals.
You want me to sign the originals? All right. Please. All right. Got an agenda for the upcoming August Board of Directors meeting? Comments or questions? Additions or deletions?
Rich, the only thing you may want to do is forward the, if you have somebody who can be on the governance committee, I think that's probably a board appointment, so just a housekeeping.
Okay. So you're looking to add that in here? Chris?
Yeah, so I'm suggesting you might want to do that if you can find somebody, maybe Linda can put out a little note saying we're looking for a volunteer to serve on the governance committee, or however you guys want to handle it. Draft someone.
Okay. Nothing else? I'll make a motion to move the agenda to the board of directors. So moved.
That's it.
All in favor? Any other business? Other than the river keeper, which I will have to go find out what happened. And I assume everybody's okay with putting him on the next executive board meeting.
Michelle, all of this.
I know, you got that look on your face like,
Or, yeah,
They have they're associated with another group, I think, let's test their. Water, the watershed. Like that.
I guess I just recruiting for the position, open position. The town likes it very much.
so. Do you wanna do it, you want me to do it?
As far as,
There were 4 resumes, 3 of them, or actually 4 of them backed out now.
yeah, well,
So re-advertising.
we invited 3 people for interviews and, one goes to this completely, the other 2 withdrew. One actually scheduled an interview and withdrew today, is this morning.
Wow.
So we're gonna be replacing the ads, again, and we'll see what the next round brings us.
So while we're there, are there any trade organizations that we can advertise with?
I don't know, I found the ads, when I took the job, it's from True Indeed, so it's. My only concern with, what Linda's proposed to do with one of the upgraded levels of advertising through Indeed is just going to increase the radius of where the people see the ad. You really want someone who's local, not someone from.
What doesn't, I mean, I just.
Keith, have you circulated this to GFOA members in the counties?
We haven't done anything other than our website and through Indeed, as far as I know, and I know Ellen put it on her, you put it on your
Put it
website.
in newsletter that they put out. We got one person on.
I mean, GFOA's website and newsletters and stuff get to the right complement of people, I think, or at least a subset of those. I think that would be a good idea.
We will certainly look at it.
And if anybody hears of any trade organizations for accountants, we'll check them out.
You have the resume.
I do pass on an account to keep.
Well, this is for replacing my position,
Oh,
not
trying to
a, not
Inside,
to,
not outside.
not an external.
Okay. Sorry.
What about the resumes from before when you came? Then you to hold them on file?
That was what?
5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, okay.
Yeah.
Time flies. Seems like yesterday.
Like, a little too much dust.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
All right, if there's nothing else, motion to adjourn,
He's the third one that got jobs as I did. Is that
all in favor?
Public, quick, yeah, that's fine.
Say, quick, before you shut this off, Rich and Warren, history question. In connection with the governance appointment, I was going back to see if we had a charter. And what we found is that there was a draft charter, but then language regarding those and what their general roles were was put in the bylaws. So I couldn't see that you ever formally adopted the charters. Warren, do you remember having a conversation about this and whether or not you decided not to appoint those long form charters and instead just rely on the bylaws, or you don't remember?
I don't remember, we were going crazy.
I know. All right. Well, yeah, I know it's a long time ago. So maybe we'll resurrect those
Yeah, I don't get it.
and we could give them to the governance committee in the new year to consider those charters. They just lay out in detail what the committees are supposed to do. So might be helpful for people.
Yeah, we have to have something.
We have the bylaws.
It's in the bylaw.
Fact, like, these are additional.
Yeah, the bylaws are a little sketchy, right? So
And stuff, is that what you're looking for, something like that? What they do?
yeah, there's a draft charter that, and Cassie can look at them again in the light of the very current, ABO recommendations for what those are supposed to do. The original versions that ABO put out were very long and didn't need to be that complicated. And we've tried to, tighten them up a little bit in other contexts, but I think it's helpful for the committee members to understand what it is they're supposed to be doing. So just a suggestion. We can think about that for the coming year.
Okay, I'll take a look, see if I
Okay.
have it. But this.
I have them. I can send them to you. I just couldn't see that they were adopted. And I was wondering if you guys decided that's just too much like work and we're just gonna have a very simple explanation in the bylaws of what their committees are. You know what I mean?
And what year are we looking at that they made?
2012 is when they were done. Yeah, back when this was being organized, right?
I know, but I have 4 terabytes of disk space on here. I have everything, the problems I can't find any meaningful, just have 4 terabytes.
I am terrible.
I have like 4 hard drives. That's why I keep this machine.
Well, this would be pre-drift.
So the bylaws are very
Summer
big, like general, high level, and this document has
Right.
more.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Read to see it. I mean, most of us weren't here in 2012 to read it.
Right. No, I know. So I was going to resurrect those maybe, and it would be appropriate for the governance committee to look at those and recommend them out to the rest of the board.
Or even
Right.
if we read them.
That's the kind of thing they can do. Yeah, absolutely. I can send them to you. And I haven't really reviewed them because these were done, more than 10 years ago. So I would say they need to be updated anyway for
Yeah.
current ABO guidance, right? So that's what I would like to do. And then send them around for you.
Well, Warren, you'll send them, so then you could look at what we titled it and see if you can find it.
Yeah, this right here goes back to 2000. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, don't worry about it. We'll put something together. I just wondered if you remembered. Okay.
That's 15 years ago.
I'm not even going to try to ask George because he'll be like, I don't remember anything. He doesn't want to deal with it. So,
I did good boy legs.
yeah.
And Kevin did ask me to reach out to where I interned before for Save the Sound, and I reached out today. Unfortunately, not a single person that worked there, but I was interning in 2012 is still there. So I don't know anyone personally, but I did email them and ask.
All right.
Point.
Thanks.